Hello and welcome back, folks. What the crap's going on? HeirofCarthage here, and yes, Patchy the Demon Prince campaign is going to continue. I've had some excellent comments from all of you as usual, and I appreciate it. Please make sure that you take the time to be engaged if you're watching. Get down there, leave some comments, put a thumbs up or hit the thumbs down button if you hated it. Anyway, appreciate y'all, and I'm excited to be back. We've got some good stuff going. We finally have gotten rid of Archaon's rot, and we're going to be causing some pain with Patchet, and she's going to be heading towards the Bleeding Spire to get rid of the remainder of the Norscan tribes, while meantime, Patchy is headed towards Kislev. I'm going to continue that march towards Prague here. Let him do a little bit of replenishing so he'll be ready to fight when he arrives. We have some cash left over. Not going to be a bad idea to get some money spent. It was pointed out to me that we are capped on Corn Glory. It's not going up anymore, and probably the same on Undecided. So I'll try and do some focus on Nurgle, Slaanesh, and Tzeentch, because we probably have not reached any sort of cap on those. I didn't realize they would cap it. It's kind of strange. I guess it makes sense, though. Maybe there's, like, no more upgrades that it can provide, and so they end up capping it. Okay, the Twisted Towers is going to be our... up there, and that's our Nurgle mixed with corn thing going on here. Let's swap that over to Nurgle Glory, then. Oh, it is on... it's already on Nurgle Glory. Okay, we're good. Beast. But yeah, we've got a lot of stuff here that we need to build. This one would be good. And what else? Probably build this as well, because that give us access to Chaos Warriors, the Scourges, and then Keeper Secrets. Okay, I'm going to save a little cash each turn, like that, and kind of keep my cash higher. That way, in case we end up in a situation where I'm required to survive off the reserves for a few turns, we can. So we'll see. But in any case, yeah. We've got a lot going down. Like I said, we're going to go check Kislev. Let's get a few of your comments in here. T-Rex says that he wrote a story for one of our Marauders. He says they're called the Cursed Crabmen. He's talking about the Slaaneshi Marauders. They were originally chaos-worshipping fishermen from the Bay of Blades, blessed with claw hands from Slaanesh after offering the Dark Gods some delicious crab chowder. The Cursed Crabmen. Sounds like we need to rename one of them. Olaf here is wanting something with us. Let's see what he says. He wants a non-aggression pact. I am fine with that for now, because I'm passing through his lands. He's probably concerned about my passing through his lands, and he should be, because if he crosses me, I will smash him. I'd rather not. We have other, more fun campaign targets, presumably, to get to, and I would prefer that. Bleeding Spire, what do they got here in terms of garrison? They would have a pretty significant army if I fought them here.
Privileged of Slaanesh.
I could go ahead and just grab these regiments for now, just to kind of help fill out that army. And then we'll attack. It's not the units that I really want to leave there long term. That's okay. I'm going to encircle the settlement here. Cause them a little bit of suffering, and make them a little squishier and easier to overtake here. Alright, Patchy is almost healed. We're just going to move him on up and push on forward towards the lands of Kislev. And let's see. Go ahead and run an upgrade here. It's going to take a bunch of my money. I'm going to save the remainder. And let's get some more here. Blanket Boa says, always fantastic to see Patchy taking his proper place in the Warhammer world. I appreciate the comment. He is taking his place. I tell you, I was pretty impressed on that last episode. His armor is absolutely absurd, and it's kind of fun, right? From a story standpoint, he came in as a peasant with no clothes from Austria, and now he's got probably the most storied armor in the Warhammer universe at this point, including this fellow here with his mirror shield. We're taking no surrenders from him. I'm hoping someone will just wipe him out. I'm certainly not giving him a peace treaty. Daniel says, due to his bravery on the battlefield, Patchy was promoted to an Imperial Cuirassier regiment and awarded a full suit of armor. Alas, he did not own his own horse, so in order to keep up with his new mounted compatriots, Patchy's dear friend Leonardo helped design a set of wings. So far, Patchy has kept awkward questions to a minimum by insisting he is a member of the Imperial dynasty thus explaining his interesting bodily features. I like it, Daniel. I like it a lot. That's good. Oh, man. So yeah, Patchy getting his set of wings from none other than his friend Leonardo da Vinci. Oh, man, you all bring the good stuff in the comments. I always appreciate it. I'm going to keep these folks encircled at the Bleeding Spire and let them continue to bleed, because they cannot afford to sit there and bleed. I'm going to push up faster. Prague is presumably under Skaven control at the moment. I'm going to swing down and take a look at Kislev. So yeah, we'll swing down and take a look and see whether Kislev's still here. It's very possible that all the factions we wanted to fight have been extincted while we were stuck fighting other Chaos factions. If that's the case, then it would be nice to see some adjustments made, maybe either in start positions or just other stuff, because when you're playing as the Demon Prince, and by the time you get to the old world, it's already destroyed by other demons, or Skaven, or something else. It's pretty lame. And it'd be neat to see that, like, for instance, if the player picks a quote-unquote evil faction, right? I'm saying air quotes there, but yeah. If they pick an evil faction like the Demon Prince, it would be nice if there was a bit of a buff to the survivability, like maybe it's an auto-resolve buff or something that goes to the Empire and other factions to keep them alive later into the game, because then it'd be more interesting. Now, you don't want it to, like, overstack and have it be the player versus the whole world. But it'd be neat if you could find a way to balance that in some way, to where you're not, you know what I mean, stuck fighting only other Chaos factions and never getting to fight those factions that should be your foes, unless, of course, you just ignore everything at the first, abandon your first settlement, and then just take off running and screaming straight towards the enemy. Kislev is also presumably under Skaven control, so it looks like Kislev has already fallen. So I guess I'll continue the march and kind of head on towards the Empire here, because apparently Kislev is no longer a thing. Norska, Greenskins, Dark Elves. Yeah, I'm not even sure if there's any Empire faction thing. I don't have any eyeballs on yet, though, so we'll see what happens. We built up a little more money. I'm going to take care of the unassigned skill point for Killscribe, and his power grows ever stronger. Boy, he is getting ridiculously strong, and I like it. Power there. All right. Like I said, we're gonna probably just. I say that. I'll go ahead and build just a little bit here, and let's go ahead and end this turn. Again, I want to build up a little bit of a cash reserve, because we're gonna have waning bloodletting going on right now, because we're not gonna be getting a lot of battles as I move and siege and stuff like that, so we're going to be low on battles. I'm not sure I've ever had enough battles consistently as this campaign has been going to actually get the bloodletting all the way up to the top, which is a little bit frustrating. I feel like battles have been a little few and far between here because of the distance between settlements. I feel like in some of these far-flung places in the map, the distance between settlements is just way too great, and CA would either need to add more settlements or just change the map size up here. And I know that they want to have this big epic map, but it's pretty frustrating. Maybe change the movement in those, like where the characters can move farther across those settlements. That way the map maintains its kind of size and scale, but doesn't necessarily make the player have to run around for 3 or 4 turns. Yeah, look at this. See, Greenskins are in charge over here. Mappelberg destroyed. So, I mean, so far we haven't run into a single human settlement here. So, got the Bone Rattlers eking out everything here. So the Eviltide has apparently had great success in this campaign. Which is funny, because when I'm playing as one of the quote-unquote evil factions, like I've done in the past, their allies do terrible, of course. So it almost seems like whatever side the player picks, the other one, or in this case, infuriatingly, your own side becomes the dominating one. But whenever I've played as the Eviltide, the rest of the evil factions usually get beat up. So, I don't know, it's kind of strange. I've had it go a little bit of both ways. I feel like the auto-resolve is probably out of whack with some of the factions right now. Let's see, Sky is Falling says, hey, Air, first off, happy anniversary. Well, thank you. It was a great one. I do appreciate it. We did a little bit of celebrating. We're actually doing a larger celebration. We're going to head to a theme park that Mrs. Air has been wanting to go to, but that's not for a little while still. We're getting to go soon, though. It says, secondly, the plague effects only on Nurgle and Demon Prince, just so you know. That changes up with you considering only having a few Nurgle units. Thank you for the tip. It's good to remember. It only applies to Nurgle units. So I will take a look at that, and we'll see if we want to reconsider. Maybe, maybe not. Oh, great. Our in-game scenario is the Vermintide. Exactly what I didn't want. But here's some Empire. I'm honestly unconcerned with the Vermintide, though I'm assuming if the in-game is the Vermintide, does that mean I'm at war? Oh, the Druki are at war with me, and they are headed for my land. How utterly annoying. I cannot finish a single fight anywhere without being hounded and harangued by other factions. Let's have Patchet finish off this settlement, and we'll give the glory to Tzeentch. Can't remember what I was doing in this settlement.
Depravity reigns.
Oh, whatever, we gave it to Tzeentch. Big deal. Alright, so Patchet gaining another victory. Let's do this reduction of upkeep cost. We're going to continue to make her army more affordable and keep our upkeep higher in case we need to throw out yet another army, which we definitely benefit from. Let's go with Irving. Reduce that miscast chance. And then, let's see, we got Acquiescence, a nice debuff. Let's keep up with that, improve it. And got a Nurgling Planikin or Turdhilius to ride around on. Should be fun. I'm not sure if I've even gotten to use that yet, because I haven't played much Nurgle since the beginning of the game. And for understandable reasons, Nurgle had been pretty lame up until the release of Festus, so not exactly shocked. Let's see what our garrisons look like through here. I mean, some of these places have decent garrisons, others not so much, like the Folly of Malefics is pretty weak. I mean, some places have decent garrisons, so the Dark Elves aren't gonna... They'll have some squish to work with there. I'm gonna try and finish these guys off with Patchet and then head the other way. Looks like there's just some more Norscan factions over here that presumably I could try to make good with.
Let's find somewhere quiet to talk.
We don't have any treaties with them. Your offer payments. I think they're a vassal. Oh, no, they're a vassal. The Heralds of the Tempest. So this is Kolek's buddies here, and I don't know if we're able. There we go. We'll pull a non-aggression pact with the Dragon Ogre, because there's no reason not to.
For now.
And then that way we can finish these guys up, and then be at peace with the Dragon Ogre and focus our energies elsewhere. Folks, we finally get to have some fights with the Empire, and it is none other than the legendary Emperor Carl Franz defending his settlement, and he's got a steam tank and a Luminarch, so I don't think his army is big enough to stop us, but he does have some fun units. It is the Emperor. We are declaring war, and no doubt their allies will unleash a fury upon me, because their allies are many, and mine are none. That's the way we like it. So we're going to go after Carl Franz. I doubt I have the money to seduce away any of his units. No, we do not even close. People, well, I say that. We do, actually, this time. Might we seduce some handguns? The tanks, of course, are way out of our range. Halberds, flagellants, huntsmen might be kind of cool. Handguns would certainly be handy. We can't touch the Luminarch or any of the other stuff. I could pull... No, because I'll still be outranged by a lot of this other stuff. Let's go ahead and just, let's pull the huntsman over. And then let's go ahead and fight this battle. Armored Patchy has found himself facing the Prince of Men. Yes, Sigmar's chosen. One Carl Franz and his Deathclaw companion here, who is actually shooting off fireballs at me, which is pretty interesting. Looks like he's going to be firing that straight into the weird spawn. Does have some pretty good tools here at his disposal, including a Luminarch, which is now about to open fire on me, apparently. At least it acted like it was. Maybe changing its target. Ooh, that is just about as crazy of a miss as I've ever seen from the Luminarch, so that was not a good shot. Not by any stretch of the imagination. Appius is already copping fire from the steam tanks. One of them already hit him, and then they got hit again, so his barrier is low. And then the Angry Birds took a shot there as well. You can see my main army is approaching from the front, and then I have cavalry approaching from the flank. The Empire army won't be able to stand for long against my faction. There goes a shot right there. Ooh, just careening into Appius and putting a big chunk in him. Look at this Carl Franz trying to ignore the duel with his fate here, which is Patchy, and goes straight for Appius. Appius took another cannon shot right there, and I imagine he could die. Yeah, he's probably about to die. I'm not paying attention. Got crossbows going off. There's handguns in the vicinity as well. And he had taken some pretty stiff damage already and did not have his barrier back. Yeah, I got hit by the Luminarch right there too, so I think I'm gonna, yeah, I'm about to get Appius killed. He's already crumbling, so my attention was on Carl and getting some attack orders issued over here. Whenever I was playing the battle, I had seen Appius, saw that his barrier was down, but figured he'd be all right for a second, and by the time I turned around, he had crumbled and was gone, but that's okay. We'll get him back. He is immortal at this point, and the real fight at hand here is the epic fight that was one of the objectives of this campaign, which was Patchy to take on the Prince of Men here, the Emperor, Carl Franz. So yeah, I've got these Furies. I'm going to dive them down here in a moment onto the handguns. There they go. And then we've managed to pin in the Luminarch for what it did to Appius. It will pay. And then I've got my cavalry now swooping through the flank. And then the main infantry line, these state troopers, of course, absolutely no match for my extremely well-armored and battle-hardened troops, which will cut through even their best men, like these great swordsmen. And their guns will also be dying. Nothing is going to survive at this point. The Luminarch being hunted down by the Angry Birds there, our Doom Knights. And then Patchy busy KOing Carl, who was attempting to run away and try and use a fireball there, but we chase him down, and we're going to finish him one way or the other. So he will go down, and he will do it at the hands of the Demon Prince. Some pretty good hits there. Wait, I know Franz is on his last legs here, so I imagine he will be down at about any moment. You can see his forces scattering on the ground. There he goes. Emperor down. So Patchy slays the Emperor of Men in both an epic and symbolic fashion there. The only thing that's left are his steam tanks. I brought some armor-piercing units. And our crazy crab-clawed Slaneshi Demonettes. Causing a lot of damage, but of course the tank going to give them some fits in return. But you know what? These Demonettes probably like this. They probably always wanted to go on a steamy date with a tank. Okay, there, some more bad puns I bring in for you all. So this is something they probably look forward to. Searing metal, slamming into their flesh. Again, Slanesh is a bit of a weird one, so they're probably okay with a lot of things that would otherwise make Patchy's men hate him. But yeah, like I said, they're down with it. The other steam tank was pulled down by the Hellforged hosts, and Patchy himself left in a crumbled ruin. And this is a great effigy for what is left of men once Patchy got a hold of them. Well, I somehow managed to lose track of Appius during that fight. I remember seeing him with his barrier down, but otherwise in fairly safe shape. I must have lost track of him. He got hit by a Luminarch steam tank or some handguns. I don't know what in the world got him, but he went down in a big hurry. It's like I said, I'd seen him and he was gone, but we'll get him back. The annoying thing is about that is that they'll probably spawn him like back halfway across the map at some other settlement, because that's what CA does, rather than just bringing him back to the stack where he was. So that is going to be a little irritating, but otherwise a successful battle for us and an absolute stomping of Carl Franz. The settlement is worth nothing to anybody, and so we're just going to raze it to the ground, which is apparently what it was very recently anyway. And we'll need to kind of regain our strength and go find our next Empire target. And with Patchette, we're going to need to stay on the move and quickly take care of business so that we can focus our attention on our more vulnerable areas of our territory. Let's go ahead and end our turn. We do have a commandment available. Let's go ahead and throw some siege favor there. Glory. And let's end this turn and get a little bit further on. Garter Knight says, happy anniversary as well. We appreciate it. He says, glad the advice proves useful. I never got far enough into the campaign to unlock many sets. The one you chose seems absolutely brutal. So Garter is the one who gave us the information on the armor set that we've been using. He says, I agree about the campaign as a Demon Prince. I tried to attack Norska early and just got attacked on the flank by Archaon, pulling me back into the Northern Waste. I wonder if the next time I play, it would be worth getting Slanesh tech. It gives diplomatic bonuses with Norska and Chaos factions, just to stave off early attacks like that. It's possible. You might have to go down a road, but something tells me that especially if you're playing on the harder difficulties, they'll attack you anyway because that's what the AI does. So my guess is that you're probably kind of stuck with those attacks. So yeah, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. I'm going to try and keep relations good with Valkia because I don't want to be fighting her. We've been working on that since a long time now. Cathay Caravan there we could jump on, just for fun.
Indubitably. Certainly.
Pretty weak, I don't know if it's worth our time. Alright, let's move forward and look for the next settlement for the Reichland. We should be able to mostly finish our replenishment on this turn and then find some more blood on the next turn. Then in the meantime, see like right here, it takes 2 turns to get to the gallows tree from here. Why? Just make the movement bigger here. 1 turn is fine to walk between these settlements. Really kind of irritating. CA does stuff like this. It just slows down the game. And it's not very fun. And then it goes against, like, you have this bloodletting thing that's supposed to be going on, but when you have to spend 2 or 3 turns walking between settlements, then I'm gonna have to walk all the way back over here in order to fight. I mean, it gets pretty frustrating, to be honest. I have ideas on how they could fix stuff like this. You know what? It might be kind of fun to talk through that real quick, by the way. So one thing I think they should add to Total War is the ability for you to add units to a garrison of interest. You have to pay the upkeep on those units, and you have to pay to recruit them. But I think they should have that feature where you can add to a garrison that is of particular interest to the AI, or where they keep attacking you, allowing you to have a little bit stronger of a facility, obviously, that you're paying for. And you can pay for the improved buildings as well, which is fine. But I think that they should allow you to do that up to a certain extent, right? Maybe there can be a limitation for how many of those paid garrison units you can have, which is totally fine. That way you can't just get wealthy and then uber garrison everything you have. But it would allow me, for instance, to reinforce key sections of my territory that I may be worried about invasion taking place in, right? So it would give me that opportunity. It looks like Valkia did take over for Sigvald, and he is probably gone over the last turn or so. I probably missed it whenever his little time popped up there and said that he was KO'd. I'm going to go back into a standard stance here. See, our bloodletting's already back down before we can get replenished and reach another settlement. I'm going to be trespassing potentially here, but yeah, see, Talabheim already under control of the Greenskins. Vampires are still in play over here, so if there is any of the Empire left, it is probably minor. But I'll go ahead and walk that way and see what we can find. So definitely, I think, disappointing to get this far into a campaign, having gotten stuck fighting a bunch of objectives that you weren't really interested in and aren't very thematic. And you can't focus on the other ones. Yeah, I mean, it would make sense in some ways to maybe have some of these Well, I say it makes sense. Chaos probably doesn't have a whole lot of inklings of peace, even towards each other. I think that, you know, in the lore, they probably do plenty of infighting, and I mean plenty. So I would imagine that that's actually probably somewhat war-friendly, that we're all beating the ever-loving crap out of each other. Alright, so they just have one more settlement over here that we should be able to take out on the next turn. And finish our reduction of upkeep cost. And then Turdhilius has the ability to get Arcane Conduit now, which is a big deal. And then Arcust, let's see here, can get Evasion, and then we can move on to Slicing Shards and Phantasmagoria, some of the better spells available to us there. We got quite a bit of money, we should probably go ahead and spend it. It'd be good to have the ability to recruit some Nurgle units back here, because we really have not had that yet. So yeah, I'm going to build a couple of buildings there to give me access to a few more Nurgle units. And then a little bit better garrisons here as well. So we'll spend some money. And improve some garrisons and other buildings in the cold mires, because that is fairly close to some enemies. May be a bad idea ultimately if they come and invade me before I'm ready. But if they don't invade me quickly, then that could pay off with those extra garrisons. However, there's enough Druki down there. We could be in for a pretty rough time if they come and invade. And remember that Patchet literally just walked all the way from this side of the map to the other. Yeah, it looks like Valkia's under siege. So the Druki will no doubt be making their way for me soon, which means that we're going to have to shift Patchet's attention back the other direction and keep an eye out for that. Obviously, there's factions here that we don't have eyes on. Bretonnia's still alive. One of the ones that we can see whenever we attacked Franz. Now, we could get an idea about Franz by going in here into the diplomacy. You can get some hints in here. Evres, for instance, has 9 settlements, and they're strength rank 11, which means that, you know, they're going to be fairly strong. Clan Mulder is obviously off the charts. They control 25 settlements, which means that they have done all the damage to Kislev and a considerable amount to the Reichland too, who is only down to 9 settlements. And see, when I take a look at other fellow Chaos factions, only 4 settlements for Festus actually kind of surprises me, and it's the same for the Legion of the Gore Queen. So my own factions here are actually pretty weak, all things considered. And Mulder at 2. Nagarond at strength rank 1 with 26 settlements. I'm not exactly surprised because they have probably been doing some confederating and getting stronger, though sometimes they do get bogged down now that Grombrindle is in their midst, so that is certainly a possibility at times. Alright, so I am making my way towards Altdorf. Look at this. What should have been our glorious invasion of the Empire is going to end up being kind of a way too late knock out the only remainder type of action. Looks like they abandoned guarding their final settlements. Just auto-resolve this. There's nothing to see here. Occupy that. Some Slaanesh glory. So we have secured this province for Slaanesh. Need this lumber, it doesn't make much sense anyway. And we've got the garrison building there, and we'll go for some extra favor. So Patchet can now start spending a whole bunch of turns swinging all the way back to the other side of the map, which is going to be a bit of a waste of time and rather frustrating, I might add. Drop the casualties due to attrition.
My deepest desire granted.
Then Turdhilius here, probably magical reserves would be good. And then, let's see, our Slaaneshi Aluris. Yeah, slicing shards ought to be good. Then, we don't have a ton of cash, so I'm actually gonna just go through those. We'll throw some Slaanesh glory there and end another turn. So yeah, I don't know. We'll see what happens here. I'm gonna go take a look at Altdorf. It did have 9 settlements. I hope it's one of the ones that's still standing, because I'd like the opportunity to attack it. Speaking of kills and my desire to kill the Empire, Killscribe here has the War Host of the Apocalypse at the top of our kill list with 10,558 losses. Really appreciate Archaon being chosen to be on top of my kill list. Huh? You'll like that. Archaon became the butt of a joke, and I enjoy that a great deal. So he is dead. Scheme of Doom performed. Let's knock out this faction. This should be all that's left of them here.
Unalloyed sensation.
And throw some more Slaanesh glory there. Enemy was killed in battle. Alright. So we have pretty well taken over operations here. Making good money, and like I said, Patchet can now lose all of the hard-earned bloodletting in a crazy run all the way back to the other side of the map, which is going to take 10 or 11 turns. Be an absolute waste of time. Too bad they don't have some way to travel a little bit faster across those massive chaos waste. But yeah, it is what it is. So I'm going to start moving through the woods here. Yep, Altdorf is in control of the Empire, so that could lead us to a really fun siege battle that we can take care of in the next episode, because I'm basically out of time on this one. It won't be a super long episode, but I can't just keep going because I have some other things I need to record. Yeah, let's see, unassigned skill point. That's going to go to Patchet, who can now get Renowned and Feared, which drops the upkeep cost further. So, actually means I could just go ahead and get another army stood up and go ahead and take Patchet elsewhere. But I mean, honestly, she's like 10 turns from being in combat anywhere, so I might as well start sending her over towards the Druchii. Use the money to build up some infrastructure, and then just try to be ready for the Druchii. They've already taken over the Fortress of the Damned, so with Valkia hurt, I think she's kind of just back here at her fortress. We're going to be feeling that one. The Decadent Host actually gained territory because of the Druchii fighting Valkia, so that is also unfortunate. They keep begging for peace. I wonder if they have made peace with Valkia. Yes. They have not, so I would consider making peace with them, but kind of pointless if it just doesn't make any sense because they're still fighting Valkia. I wish he would just kind of drop the fight with them as well, and then it would make a little more sense at this point. Okay. Throw a couple buildings down here that help us with garrisons. Skip through that stuff. End another turn. And let's get flying here. Inductive Grunt says, another round of Patchy slaughtering the forces of the false Everchosen. Nice. Shame my Arcost, or Arcost, I think is how he pronounces it, is a Slaanesh Demon Lord and not a Khorne Demon Lord. I blame Slaanesh for stealing Arcost away before Khorne can get to him. Now I see why Valkia wants Sigvald dead. Slaanesh stole Arcost from Khorne, and Khorne wants vengeance for what was. I like it. Thanks for helping me create the character. And let's see what the Ecstatic Legions one here. A non-aggression pack sounds pretty smart. It's like I said, we're going to have enough enemies all over our flanks as it is with the Druchii and potentially others, so we'll at least try and get all the Chaos folks fighting together here. We will accomplish... But where is the Seamster? Okay, well, he went to the last settlement where he was present with the army, which is still halfway around the world, but closer, I guess, than had he started all the way back at my home settlement. He's at least like 6, maybe 7 turns away regardless, so... But I've got him on the way. Hopefully he doesn't get assassinated along the way. Go ahead and fully replenish that last demonette here. I do not see an additional garrison at Altdorf, but I would imagine it has a fairly stout garrison. And folks, this is going to be a good ending point for us, I believe. We are going to be in excellent position to attack Altdorf. Maybe one of the few original campaign targets left, because Kislev is gone. The Empire is here. We were supposed to kind of pacify Norska, but I mean, we fought Norska a ton, so it's not like we didn't kind of accomplish that anyway. It's just different factions of Norska. So we'll take a look at knocking out what's left of the Empire here, and I will see you all in the next episode when we get to that. See you then, HeirofCarthage, signing out.